Well, hello and welcome to the Arts and Wellness Café. Do you know, I forgot to get my drink. Anyway, but I've got some water here. What are you drinking? Have you got something to drink? So we're bracing ourselves at the moment here in Barbados because there's a tropical wave, possible cyclone, and it's due to hit the island in the next few hours. So I thought, well, I had recorded this already and I had to record it again because I did it when it was kind of dark and it just looked really off. And then I thought, oh my gosh, you better get it out before, sometimes the power goes out and what have you. Anyway, so, do you know what this is? Those dog owners among us will know what it is. It's a toy for Cole. This is about the sixth toy that I brought him, and he matches them up within a day. I'm going to see how long this lasts. So, unfortunately, I was going to say, it's not unfortunately it's made in China, but there's nobody I can contact to say, my dog needs something really strong to chew on, because everything that's out there, I mean, this is rope, but everything else that's out there, all the toys, he chews them up. Balls, he loses them. He lost 2 balls in the same day. The third one, it's a pack of 3. The third one, Sakai, my son's away at the moment, so he was like, oh, can you save this until I come back? But I was just like, he lost the other 2 in a day. Anyway, so the word for today is optimistic, and I want to know how it is that you think about that word and the way you are as a person, the way you look at things, and really think about your approach to your creativity. So what is it? How do you feel? What do you think your journey is? Where do you see yourself going in this creative journey? I mean, it could just be something that you see as a hobby, or if you're if you're an artist looking to further your career in the arts, how do you approach your creative walk? You're on your creative journey, but how is it? What is it you look at? I mean, I posted on my Creating in Faith podcast. It's not Creating in Faith podcast, it's Realityarts podcast. Creating in Faith is the Monday episodes, but I'm really thinking of, and so yeah, the long and short of it is, so I touched on the word there and asking you to maybe, just think about the way I approach my art. I think consistently optimistic. I look at everything, with a what if, and I wonder if I could, not wonder if I could, but like, I see something and it's not, oh, I wish I could do it. It's like, I want to try that. And so that's how I approach anything I do. It's, oh, I really want to try that, or I love experimenting. It's not something that I remember doing much as a child, but as an adult, there's the child within us that wants to explore and wants to it's go on this journey. I mean, who says that? And I posted it's this picture of this artist, and he's 100 and he's still painting, and he's just like, I'm going to paint till the day I die. Why? Some people had asked him, when you're going to retire. It's just like, retire from what? This is my passion. This is something I love. So why would I stop doing it? And with my creativity, it's, if I get bored with a particular supply, like, I might not feel like using a particular supply, I'll use something else. And I'm constantly experimenting, constantly working on different things so that I can enjoy myself with that supply. So that's what I'm hoping that you feel comfortable enough to play about with your supply, comfortable enough to try new things if you want. And I was thinking recently, I was just thinking, you know, that my hobbies and what I do, like what I create is, you know, I create sculptures and things like that. But I have so many different hobbies that are creative that the line between them is blurred, because with mixed media you can bring together so many different mediums, as long as you've got strong enough glue, especially if it's like assemblage art and things like that. And that's something I never thought I would I always wanted to do and have started. It was just like, just start, you know. And it wasn't until there's an artist called Hebron, from the House of Hebron, and I'll leave his link below. You can go see some of his works. I went to his studio, and he does a lot of Hebron Chism. He does a lot of assemblage and works with wood, concrete. He works with a lot of different materials, but he was attaching something to a sculpture that he did, and I was just like, oh, so what kind of glue do you use there? And I think he uses silicone, but there's this other goop, and it's just like marine. They use it on boats, and it's just like, once you put that on, nothing ain't gonna come off. So it was just like that then opened my eyes, and it's amazing how so many different artists can you can see their work, you can see a technique. He's very generous in sharing some of his techniques and showing you how he did this, and a lot of the stuff that he creates out of molds. And I think he's come from a design or product design background, but you can see some of his work. As I said, I'll leave his link to his website. So since then it was just like, oh, do you know what that means? That opens a door to certain types of materials that I just hadn't worked out how to bring together in my head, and hadn't seen anybody else since, you know, then I saw his work, and I was just like, oh right, okay, so this opens a door for me to explore these kind of materials and not fear that they're going to, you know, come away. And so I've been doing, it's not reverse assemblage, but assemblage art on different things. And I will be sharing, sorry, I looked, there was a little bird. There's a bird building a nest, and it's a young bird. There was a nest already there, and part of it blew away. So there's a young bird trying to restore it, and it's just like, there's enough supply, there's enough material out here for you to properly do this nest. But I don't know what's taking it so long. And there was another nest that fell down. The bird built the nest in a papaya tree, but this is a papaya tree. It's a male papaya tree, and this is where the bird tried to build its nest. I guess it thought that the tree had stopped growing, but it took its time, got all the little sticks and branches, got some cotton, and bit by bit, flight by flight, built its nest. But the tree was still growing. It didn't realise, otherwise it would have built its nest in thicker branches in a different tree. And as the winds blew, the tree released the nest, and down it came. cotton. It's a small bird. I think it's for a bullfinch nest. How tiny. So I'm tempted to get that nest and just bring it here so that it's got the supplies ready. This is probably the third or fourth nest we've got currently in the garden with birds dwelling in there. So I'm really excited. I just want a parakeet a parakeet community to come and spend some time, live in the garden. So that would be really awesome. And then maybe some deer, zebra, cheetahs. No, just joking. But the parakeets, I've seen green and blue. I saw a blue one the other day. Anyway, so this morning, the young bird, as I was saying, that was building, it flew into the studio and then nearly gave itself concussion trying to get out. So I had to, come to the rescue because Cole would have tried to eat it. And he gets really excited and starts barking, and I'm getting a bit warm in here. He starts barking and things like that. So got it out and it just flew off. It was just like, I don't know where I'm going, I'm just going to fly straight. But it just took off. And I'm thinking, but you don't live over there, you live around here. Anyway, yeah, so I thought one was going to fly in, that's why I kind of just was glancing over there. But yeah, optimistic. I want you to think about what that means for you and how you approach your art, and whether you need to kind of maybe change some things around, change the way you view things, change your perspective, and maybe approach it differently if you're not getting. Am I glowing? I'm glowing. Not sweat, it's some glow, Caribbean glow. But yeah, so change things up. So if you feel stuck, or if you feel just you want to try something different, then I really recommend that you do. And again, supplies, they don't have to be expensive. I mean, you could try with, cheaper ones first and then see how you go, and then you can invest as you go along, or get together with other artists and other people who like to create and share supplies in that way. And, there's so many ways in which you can be creative, but also be creative, full stop. I was going to say, but also what? But also make art. But so I want to show you, it's this book I want to show you, Altered Book Collage. I've been showing a lot of art journals. On Fridays I usually show a made art journal, and I've had this for quite a long time. And whilst it's about altering books, there's some interesting projects that you can take and use in other ways. You don't have to use it on an altered book. You can use it in your art journal, or you can use it on a canvas, or whatever. And I think it's really important that we try and look at ways in which we can, cross things over, rather than, okay, I've got this and it's just for this. My gesso is just for my canvas. No, it isn't. You can use it in art journaling. You can use it on watercolor paper. You can use it on anything, basically, and recycled paper or whatever. So start seeing some of your things and thinking about ways in which you can use them. So I'm gonna do a quick review of this, show you some of this book, and see what you think. Okay. So here we have Altered Book Collage, and it is by Barbara Mathewson. So, have you been altering books?
Have you had much experience? If you brought this book, you are going to be in for a treat, because it's got so many different ideas, and we'll go through. So in the introduction, we've got what is collage, what to do with your altered books, building a page, general supplies, and then it goes on to general instructions for preparing the book. It gives you 101 ways to alter a book. This is a list, 101 ways. And glue a word or small picture under a glass bauble or lens. Rearrange the order of original text. Try to make the ending first. Glue product labels to pages. Rub metallic paste over a page or embellishment. So there's lots of different hints and tips for you to try when thinking about altering your books, and this gives you some really great ideas. Then it has techniques for decorating book pages. So it's given you some ideas, but it gives you some techniques, and we'll just go through the other bits so that you can see equipment, building a page, displaying books, the history. And then it gives you some techniques and actually shows you what you could do: decoupage, colouring, using bleach and stamps and doing it in that way, and transferring, as you can see, working with slides. If you happen to be able to get some slides, you can use this in your altered book, dominoes. And then it also then goes into the cover. So watercolour batik pages, leaves of nature, cover and page ideas. So as you can see, there's so many different tips, beading and the edging, that you can try one or you can try several, but you will always find some interesting ideas, doing cutouts, making windows, using different supplies on there. And you can, you know, try using, say if you used beading with stitching, then you might want to stitch on paper and then add it to the book. And again, different ways in which you can embellish it. I've got one of these books that folds out. It's a children's book. So the children's books have, they're usually thick, you know, made from cardboard. The you know, the younger children's books, and they're nice to work on when you're working in an art journal or making, you know, altering a book. Torn windows, stenciling, leather bound, using ribbon, cheesecloth, all different fabrics, stitch, tags and envelopes. So there's so many different things that you can add to a book to make it look different. I mean, look, they've got a key there, buttons, lace. So it's a nice book. It's a very nice book to work through and see what kind of ideas you want to incorporate. Try a new technique, see what you've got in your supply, and try out some of these examples. And then at the end it looks like we have books, altered book pages by other artists and what they've used. And you can transfer this into other art practices. So if you're painting, you can maybe think about putting some of the ideas on here, embossing, using stamps. So there's lots of different spreads that have been used.
So there was a lot of different things, as I say, that you can do, and you can try them out and see how you get on. And it's always nice to have to have examples of additional things that you can try and see what other artists are doing. And that's why it's nice to kind of connect with other people. And you know, if you can afford to take a course, there's loads of free things on the internet. I've got loads of videos of working with different techniques on my YouTube channel, so you know, please do go through the videos and see what you think, and see if you can be inspired. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is some stitch projects. So, well, it's a stitch project, so I'm just going to talk through sorry, I was going to look in to see if there was another one that I was going to show you. There, no, you can't even see it from here. Oh, you saw that one last week, didn't you? I really love this.
Do you love us enough not to let us go?
I'm not sure about that, but I do love you. I love the colours. It's cool. So I love bright colours as well. And this is an orange one. An orange one, I used orange thread and things like that. So we're going to have a look at that one, and I'll talk through some of the technique that I used. Okay.
So I'm thinking about, I'm working on this piece, and they all develop in a variety of different ways. And even just looking at this piece, I'm not even going to apologise for the sun, but I haven't got a screen to shade it off. But this piece developed from different times of working. So I remember actually working on this piece here without any of the stitching, and I was creating some background pieces of fabric, and I was using a lot of dyes and inks, and that's how this piece was created. And then in a different sitting, I was painting on fabric and doing different designs, and so these bits were created, painted fabric pieces. And then I had brought them together, and the colour that was kind of coming out at me was the orange, and so I used orange thread to create different stitch patterns. And it was in the beginning of my working with stitched. I never thought I would. Embroidery, I never thought I would. And so I just, you know, just listened and did different stitches, and then that's how it came together. So I have a feeling that it is nearing completion in regards to the amount of stitching that I put on. So I don't need to do that much more. But what I'm now looking at is what then is going on around it. What is it sitting on? What are the fabrics saying? And I was playing initially with this fabric. The sun will go in for a little bit, you'll be able to see it, but it's an orange. It picks up some of the orange in there, and again some of the colours. But then this piece here, I'll show you this bit. It's fabric that I did some hand dyeing and kind of a bit of resist dyeing using wax. And so I've cut it up and I've put it around the edge, and I'm feeling it. But again, you know, you have to sit in these things for a little bit before you then commit. I'm feeling it, but something is saying to me, no, I'm not sure. But I've already committed. I've committed to a sense that I've cut out for around the edge. But what I'm now feeling, as I've cut out, is that I then want to incorporate some of the stitching into it. So that's what I'm feeling next, and I think that's probably what I'll go for. And then I'm thinking, you know, maybe some smaller pieces where you can see where it's resisted the dye, to put them, you know, to again feed from this particular piece to these pieces, and then think about the backing and everything afterwards. So
all right. What did you think? What did you think? Yeah, I really enjoy. I really enjoy being creative, and I love just making things. I love making things, and I guess so. Whilst I enjoy creating art and creating sculptures and things like that, I still do also enjoy experimenting and working in art journals, creating art journals, and I guess that's why I'm still, I still do it, and I share that on my YouTube channel. And I think it's important to find ways in which you can use creativity to enable you to relax, to unwind, to find a place of peace that you can express yourself in. And creativity, being creative is something that you can do, and you can choose what you want to do as you're, or making art, or working in a journal, or experimenting with supplies, wood or fabric. There's so many things that you can try, and I think you do have to think about what your attitude to that is going to be, and what your attitude to art is, to being creative, to stepping out of your comfort zone, to letting go of what might be the critic, or might be, your inner child who was told I'm no good at this particular thing, or have got people in your life that are not necessarily encouraging. You have to find ways to be able to encourage yourself. And I think if you view it, I just missed them. The parakeets just flew over. They make a distinct noise as they pass, and it's just like, Amanda! But they don't actually say my full name, but they squawk, and I know they're calling me. Anyway, so come join me on Friday, where I share another video, and I hope that you've got some nuggets there from the word optimistic, and thinking about what you're doing, thinking about what you want to do. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to connecting with you. Remember, come and see me on Friday and see what's going on with the new art journal, and then I'll be doing some more book reviews on Mondays going forward, and sharing lots of lovely, interesting and exciting stuff. And I hope you spend some time with me, and if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel, and you'll be notified of any new videos that I post, because I post three times a week. So looking forward to connecting with you in some shape or form, and I will see you again.